سلام، امیدوارم که حالتون خوب باشه. من زهره هستم. اینجا کانال لینگو پک آموزش زبان انگلیسی. داریم کتاب اسپیک ناو 2 رو درس میدم اینجا بهتون. درس 9 هستیم. اگر ویدیوی قبلی رو ندیدی حتما برو ببین. کتاب 1 رو همونجا تدریس کردم. Okay, Unit 9. I have a sore throat. We're gonna talk about health problems in this unit and make suggestions. So health problems, like I say, oops, I have a headache, I have a pain in my head. So I say, I have a headache. Or when I have some problem with my tooth, I say, I have a toothache. Headache, toothache. When you've got problem with your stomach, you say stomachache, stomachache. And then we've got a sore throat. You don't feel well in your neck, so you say I have a sore throat. Or I cough. Or you say my body is hot, I have a fever. I have a fever. Or when your skin is dry, you say, I have a dry skin, I should apply some moisturizer. And the flu, influenza میشه the flu, okay? Or I have a sore back, means I have pain in my back, I have a sore back. And other words you can see here, a cold, I have a cold, یعنی من سرما خوردم. I have a cold. اینا رو با have بچه ها میگید. I have a headache. I have a sore throat. I have a fever. تب دارم. I have a sore back. پشتم درد میکنه. حالا یا یه آسیبی دیده پشتتون. Okay? I have a stomachache. Stomachache دل درد. Cough. I have a cough. The flu, influenza, and dry skin, پوست خشک. Okay? So tell your partner what you usually do when you have one of the problems above. Use the ideas below or your own ideas. خب میگه وقتی مشکلات بالا رو داریم کدومی که از کارهای پایین انجام میدین؟ Get rest. It means stay in the bed and sleep. Relax yourself. Do not do anything. Rest. Get rest. استراحت کردن. See a doctor is go and visit a doctor. Stay in bed. Just lie down on a bed and don't do anything. Take some medicine. Take some medicine. برای خوردن دارو بچه ها نمیگیم eat medicine, میگیم take medicine. خوردن دارو. Ignore the problem. Ignore means do not pay attention to the problem. یعنی توجه نکردن. Ignore the problem. So, for example, you say, when I have a headache, I see a doctor. When I have a fever, I stay in bed. دوتایشو میتونید با زمان حال جملتون اینجوری بگید. When I have the flu, I take some medicine. Now let's listen to the conversation. You can see two women, they're talking, maybe they're at school. So what is Layla's problem and what does Tracy suggest? مشکل لیلا چیه و تریسی چه پیشنهادی میکنه؟ So thank you for listening. Now let's go through the conversation. What's Layla's problem? She had a sore throat. And what does Tracy suggest? She said that, have you seen a doctor? It means go and visit a doctor, see a doctor. Okay, let's go through it. Hi Tracy, I'm not feeling too well. I'm not feeling too well. Means I feel bad. I feel bad. I'm not feeling too well. Oh, what's the matter, Layla? What's the matter means what's the problem? What's wrong? What happened? What's the matter? What's the problem? What's wrong? چی شده؟ I have a sore throat. گلو درد دارم. That's too bad. I hope it's not the flu. Have you seen a doctor? I hope it's not the flu. امیدوارم که آنفلانزا نباشه. Have you seen a doctor? پیش دکتر رفتی؟ این have you seen a doctor زمان present perfect هست و خیلی از بچه تو این زمان مشکل دارن. یه عیبی که من میتونم به کتاب اسپیک ناو بگیرم این هست که گرامر تو این کتابا پرداخته نشده. چرا؟ توی ورک بوک چیزایی بهش اشاره شده بچه ها ولی کامل نیست. شما اگر میخواین زبان انگلیسی رو کامل یاد بگیرید باید از منابعی استفاده بکنید که گرامر رو هم تو خود کتاب اصلی گنجونده باشه، مثل کتاب های تاپ ناچ اگه اسمش رو شنیده باشید. من این دوره رو هم تدریس کردم. کتاب های تاپ ناچ رو دورش آماده است. اگر خواستین دوره رو تهیه بکنید حتما به من پیام بدید. پیج منو که دارید لینگو پک یا اینجا میتونید پیام بگذارید توی یوتیوب تا من برای تهیه پکیج راهنماییتون میکنم. اوکی. میگه no I'm fine really. I think I just have a cold. I'm fine really. I think I just have a cold. Means don't worry. You have a fever. Why don't you go home and rest? You have a fever. Why don't you go home and rest? برای پیشنهاد دادن از این عبارت استفاده میکنیم. Why don't you? Okay? Why don't you? I say why don't you. حالا بعدشم جمله‌مو میارم، فعلمو میارم، فعل ساده. Why don't you go home? چرا نمیره خونه؟ Why don't you stay in bed? Why don't you get rest? Why don't you see a doctor? اینجا don't you بچه T به وای که میرسه صدای چه میده. Don't you. Why don't you go home? Why don't you ignore the problem? پیشنهاد میخوایم به کسی بدین اینجوری که چرا نمیری خونه، چرا دکتر نمیری، چرا این کار نمیکنی. Why don't you go home and rest? Good idea. Can you take notes for me in class? Can you take notes? Means write the things that the master said in your notebook. Take notes. یادداشت برداری کنی برای من. Sure. I hope you feel better soon. I hope you feel better soon. امیدوارم که بهتر بشی، زودتر خوب بشی. You feel better soon. Thanks. Now let's exchange the blue and green words above with the words below. What's wrong equals what's the matter? I have a headache equals I have a sore throat. Why don't you take some aspirin? Why don't you go home and rest? Can I call you later? Can you take notes for me in a class? Can I call you later? Okay. Thank you for listening. Let's move on to the next part, language booster. Notice the different ways we describe health problems and make suggestions. How can we describe? چطوری میتونیم مشکلمون رو بگیم با این عبارت که گفتیم دیگه. I have, you have. اگه در مورد she و he بگیم باید بگیم she has the flu. She has a sore throat. She has a headache. Okay. I have a cold. I have the flu. Okay. باید بگیم I have a sore throat. I have a sore back. Or my stomach hurts. My knee hurts. یعنی درد میکنه. My hand hurts. My head hurts. I can't sleep at night. نمیتونم شب بخوابم. I have insomnia. insomnia یعنی بیخوابی. این پایین براتون یه چند تا اضافه گفته. stiff neck. stiff neck یعنی گردنتون گرفته، نمیتونید حرکتش بدید. هر جای بدنتون گرفته باشه میگید stiff. stiff neck. insomnia. number 2 insomnia بیخوابی. I have insomnia. sprained ankle. sprain در واقع آسیبی که به مفصل ها وارد میشه رو میگن sprain. I have a sprained ankle یعنی مچ پام در رفته، احتمالاً آسیب دیده. and a bee sting. a bee sting نیش زنبور. sting نیش. okay. خب حالا شما چطوری ساجستشن میدید؟ میتونید با should هم بچه ها ساجست بدید. should مثلا you should rest. بهتره استراحت کنی. بچه should به معنی باید نیست. should به معنی بهتره هست. You should rest. بهتره استراحت کنی. You shouldn't go to work. You shouldn't go to work. بهتره که سر کار نری. Okay? You shouldn't go to work. بهتره سر کار نری. You should take some aspirin. اینجوری میتونی پیشنهاد بدی برای یه نفر که مشکل. یا why don't you go home and rest. Why don't you rest. یا it is a good idea to. بچه بعد از it is a good idea to رو باید بیارین. It is a good idea to rest. It is a good idea to take some aspirin. It is a good idea not to go to work. Okay? اگر منفی باشه it is a good idea not to go to work. بهتره که سر کار نری. Not to go to work. Don't go to work. نه. اینجا بگین it is a good idea not to drink hot tea. Try not to eat late at night. Try not to eat late. یا try eat late at night. Try take some aspirin. و I suggest بعد I suggest ing بچه. I suggest seeing a doctor. I suggest drinking a cup of tea. I suggest sleeping. Okay? حالا گفته برای این مشکلات پایین شما یه رمدی بدین، یه درمان بدین، یه پیشنهاد بدین. مثلا stiff neck you say why don't you stay in the bed. Why don't you exercise.